What's up, everybody? I'm Sly The Movie Guy, and here's my movie review of Tenet, directed and written by Christopher Nolan, starring John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Kenneth Branagh, and the rest of the other cast and crew. And in this film, armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan. I mean, the films that comes to mind that are my favorite of his: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Inception, Insomnia, Dunkirk, Prestige. All those films, he just a freaking phenomenal director. I mean, the storytelling, the style that he goes for in his films, it's incredible on so many levels. I mean, when I watch those films, I'm just like, wow, how does he do it? It really surprised me on so many levels. I mean, he just a freaking fantastic director, man. I mean, I just love his work, man. He surprised me on everything he does when it comes to filmmaking. And I don't know how he does it. And I highly recommend you checking those films out that I mentioned if you haven't seen them yet. Even the films I didn't mention, check those out too. So Tenet, I was really anticipating for because it's a Christopher Nolan movie, and if a Nolan film was like coming out like in 2021 or 2022 or 2023, it's just going to be on my anticipated list because Nolan is just that good of a director, man. This one just so like was on like in my top five of anticipated films in 2020. And when I kept hearing it getting delayed and stuff, because the original date was like July 17th and it kept getting postponed because of the pandemic, my reaction was like, and that goes for other films, but this one alone it kept hurting me, kept getting delayed. I was like, and then when they said it's gonna come out this date, I was like, yes. And then it got postponed, kept getting postponed until we get a date of September 3rd. I was just like, yes. Whew. It was just like, yes, it's finally gonna come out this year because I thought it was never gonna come out at all this year. I thought it was gonna be on a streaming service, but I like, no, that's gonna ruin the movie theater experience of it because I like to see a Nolan film in the theaters and stuff. So it finally was going to get a theater release on September 3rd. And I didn't know if it was gonna play in my theaters, and it still wasn't because some theaters at the area I live at still was closed. So I had to drive like an hour to a theater that was playing it and stuff. So I finally went like to the theater, had to do the safety measures of the theater and stuff like that, wear a mask, hand sanitizer, social distance, seat and stuff, which I didn't mind at all because I have been in the theater since March this year. I mean, the last film I seen was Bloodshot in the theaters. And that was long. I haven't been in theaters like it's so long, so I've been stuck in the house watching movies, new releases on Netflix, Apple TV, VOD, all that stuff. So going back in the theaters, it was just like a breath of fresh air. Felt like I was like back like a little bit in heaven a little bit just getting back in the theaters. I mean, it was just like back like somewhere you're coming home for the first time, man. I mean, just going back in theaters just to see Tenet because I've been wanting to see Tenet in the movie theater. So that was kind of like I said, a breath of fresh air to see it. So what are my thoughts about Tenet since I finally got the chance to see it? I really enjoyed this film. I'm not gonna say it's like the perfect Nolan or the best Nolan film. I ain't gonna say it's flawless. It has issues for sure, but I say I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this film, man. I mean, like leaving out the theater, I was just like, wow, I actually enjoyed this film. Let me start off with the positives about this film. Starting off with the action, the style of it, the CGI practical effects. The action in this movie is absolutely fantastic. Oh my God. This is like, and this is the 11th Nolan film, and this really looks good, man. I mean, the action set pieces and the inverted action scenes really looks good on screen, man. I mean, this just like, it gave me that Inception vibes, like when I watched Inception in the movie theater back in 2010, which is the 10-year anniversary of that film. It just how the action scenes and stuff where the things were turning and stuff. it just gave me those vibes, but with the inverted action scenes and stuff that was going on throughout the film and the practical effects with the explosions and stuff and the car action scene stuff, it looks so good on screen, man. I mean, wow. If you've seen the trailers and stuff, you know you're in for it. And this didn't let me down at all, man. I mean, I was just so amazed. I mean, it was so breathtaking, man. I mean, this really looks good on screen, man. And the style of this film really looks good. Cinematography, the CGI, practical effects, everything blends in so perfectly well. There was not like I didn't have like one single problem with it. I was trying to find a flaw out of it, but man, it's like a 10 out of 10, 2 thumbs up. I was just like, woo. It gave me that whoa moment when I had my mask on. You could like I could like if you like I had my mask on when I was saying woo. It was just everything was just it looked really good, man. I mean, I was just so amazed with it. I mean, it just put a smile on face. Just give me that, like I said, that Inception vibes, that experience where things is turning stuff with the action scenes. It just really looks good, man. That inverted thing, I didn't know how it was going to be, but man, the inverted action scenes, I can see myself watching this over and over again on DVD, man. It just looks that good. The cinematography, the style of it really looks fantastic. I mean, it looks really, really gorgeous on screen, man. Oh man, and I mean, I never had a problem the way Nolan films look. 'Cause every Nolan film I watch, they always look good on screen when it comes to cinematography and style and all that. Like when it comes to like Dark Knight and Memento, Insomnia, he always makes the film looks good. It set it to like something that like a real life environment, make it realistic, and it looks really good. I don't know how Nolan does it. I mean, like when you watch Inception and Dark Knight and Memento and all that, he makes the style in the film and the way it looks. He makes it looks good where you're like it blends in. It like when we watch the movie, it just blends in with the characters and stuff and the costumes that they're wearing. It just really looks good and stuff like Prestige. Every of his films, it just I'm like wow, and it succeeds on that. The cinematography and the style of it, and the CGI and the practical effects, all of it, all those things really look good. All that. The performances in this movie. John David Washington is absolutely fantastic in this film. I mean, his performance is really good, man. I mean, I believed in his character as the protagonist because that's his name in the movie, the protagonist. He was really good. I mean, every each like acting scene he's in, I just believed it, man. He's just good. He's just like his father, Denzel. I can't wait to see him do more future projects. He's that good of an actor, man. And I really like him. Robert Pattinson is great in this movie, and this is the third film of Robert Pattinson I've seen, and like the Good Times in Lighthouse, and this film, he succeeds once again, man. I mean, Robert Pattinson, this guy, he's a monster. I mean, him, his chemistry with John David Washington was really, really good on screen. I really enjoyed those two when they're on screen together. They were fantastic. But man, Robert Pattinson, he's just great in this movie, man. And he was one of those characters I was kind of like, is he's going to do something sneaky? He's just one of those characters in the film. I just felt like he might do something sneaky. Didn't know for sure. Won't get any spoiled, but it just his character was just like kind of like one of those characters that was just like kind of like was like I didn't know what to expect from. Elizabeth Debicki is fantastic. Her chemistry with John David Washington is fantastic too. It just those three, their chemistry was just so good on screen that I thought they were really great. And Elizabeth Debicki's performance was just great, man. The performance was just great across the boards, man. And Kenneth Branagh as the villain in this film, I thought Kenneth Branagh acting was good, and him as the villain, I thought it worked in the film. I thought his role as a villain in this film really worked. It didn't really bother me. What I say is like he's the best like cinematic villain of all time. No, it serves a purpose in the story, and I thought his villain role really worked well of what was written in this movie. And I thought the directing and writing in this movie alone was great by Christopher Nolan. When Nolan directs and writes his movies, I think that's when a movie absolutely shines. And I really love to talk about that because the directing and writing in this movie, I thought for the most part was good. I think Nolan does a fantastic job at that for the most part. He does really good, and I thought the directing and writing across the boards was good for Nolan. So 2 thumbs up for that, and the acting. Storyline wise, is very complex. I don't think this is a terrible storytelling film. I don't think so. It can be. What I mean is, around the first, this is kind of like a spy film, a spy espionage film, which that's what Nolan was going for as you watch the film and you've seen and stuff like that. So it kind of takes a lot of like the digest all the information, especially in the second act of the film, because there was a whole lot of things going on that I had to like kind of capture in my mind on like what the characters are saying and stuff, or what the main mission where our main character is going through and stuff. It kind of takes a whole lot to figure out in the first 2 acts in the film. And this film runtime is like 2 hours and 38 minutes. So there's a lot to grab hold of and stuff. So you have to like grab so much information in those first 2 acts. I mean, the very beginning of the film, you're already in it. I mean, and that happens a lot with Nolan films. Like for example, like The Dark Knight with the Joker high scene. That's what this film felt like. It just like got you right in it. So I was like right into like, whoa, we're right in, we're ready. This is like about to be a roller coaster ride. So as when the film started, it's almost like already get you into it, and then there's a lot of information to capture, like when something's like stuff like with the time bending and stuff, and the war stuff that's about to happen. You're kind of like trying to figure out what all things are going to happen. So you got to collect all the pieces, the puzzle piece together, and put them all together to see what's going to happen and stuff, and how this going, and what the outcome is going to be. And as the third act happened, I was like bringing me back memories on the things I've seen throughout the film from the first second act, and then when I put those together, I was like, okay, now I see what was going to happen. I'm still trying to figure out the stuff because this film can confuse you. There's some things that still confuse me, still that I'm still like have questions of, like how this and that, the different things like that as I was watching the film. And that can happen when you watch a Nolan film. If you have seen like certain like Nolan films, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, this I guarantee you will be like completely like confused, like wow, what is this? And you're thinking you're going into like an action movie. Because Nolan is like one of those directors that will just kind of like make your mind boggle. I mean, like for examples like Memento and Inception, especially Memento, that movie kind of completely made me like wow, what did I just watch? It just I was just kind of like completely like was like confused, like how the way the film was done. Like give you a prime example of that, like the colors are like in reverse, and the black and whites are like the black and white is like going in order. So like throughout that film, it's kind of like everything is like and going in like between, like you get the colors and then the black in between there, and it's like the film meets up. It just kind of it can confuse, that film can like confuse you, and I had to watch that multiple times, and I kind of gotten it with Memento. So this is kind of like this is gonna be like this film where I have to watch it multiple times on DVD. Won't be no time soon because what we're going through right now with this pandemic, only got a chance to see it one time, but I have to like watch this multiple viewings just to get each part of the movie to figure out like okay, then I'll be like wow, this is amazing. For the negatives, I say the character development could have been a little bit better, especially with our main character. Not saying that John David Washington's performance was bad. It just I think they didn't give like enough to us to like gravitate to the character and stuff throughout the film. I mean, we see that he's doing this mission and stuff, and we can get behind him and hope he succeeds. But we didn't get much of development like to know about him as a character, and I felt like that part was missing in the film. And if that was like tweaked in there, like a spark in a fire, like we gotten that development of knowing his character, I would have been like, wow, this is amazing. Then that would have helped me fall like completely through with the movie, which I already was engaged with the movie, but that part would have made the movie like fluid and better, in my opinion, on that end. I thought it would have been great. And that goes for other characters in the film and other films that Nolan have done in the past that didn't offer a lot of character development. For examples, Dunkirk. That film didn't give us a lot of character development, but I forgave that film because Nolan was giving that war experience, and I loved how he did that film. So I was like, kind of like I said, more forgiving on that because he was giving like what is like the war experience of what's going on and stuff. So that film was great of what it was going for. This film, since it was a spy action thriller, I kind of was like looking for that as I was watching the film, and that was one of my little nitpicks of. But overall, I really enjoyed this film and stuff. I think this one of those cinematic films that I think that will like leave your jaw dropping. You'll have the great experience of. I really had a great time watching this film. I don't think this is the best Nolan film, but hey, I really enjoyed it. I think Nolan did something that is like completely phenomenal, and I think as multiple times I watch it, I think I will end up liking it even more and more. But for right now, I'm going to give Tenet a A-. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about Tenet? Did you like it or not? Have you seen it? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. I would love to know opinions and thoughts about it. And let me know what is your favorite Christopher Nolan film. For me, man, which one? The four that comes in mind that are my favorite and stuff is Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Inception, Memento. Those are the four that comes in mind. The other one, I might go with The Prestige or Insomnia. Those two bounce back and forth for me. I gotta look at those films again and stuff. But man, I just love all Nolan films. But the four, like I mentioned, Batman Begins, Dark Knight, Memento, and Inception, those are my favorites. But let me know that in the comment section down below. And that's pretty much it. And as always, if you like this video, click thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe and the bell button for more future content. That's why I can see you next time on Sly the Movie Guy. Peace.